A guy goes to the supermarket and notices an attractive woman waving at him. She says hello. He's rather taken aback because he can't place where he knows her from. So he says, "Do you know me?" To which she replies, "I think you're the father of one of my kids." Now, his mind travels back to the only time he has ever been unfaithful to his wife and says, "My God, are you the striper from my bachelor party that I made love to on the pool table, with all my buddies watching while your partner whipped my butt with wet celery?" She looks into his eyes and says calmly, "No, I'm your son's teacher." Bill and Marla decided that the only way to pull off a Sunday afternoon quickie with their 10-year-old son in the apartment was to send him out on the balcony and order him to report on all the neighborhood activities. The boy began his commentary as his parents put their plan into operation. "There's a car being towed from the parking lot," he said. "An ambulance just drove by." A few moments passed. "Looks like the Andersons have company," he called out. "Matt's riding a new bike and the coppers are making love." Mom and Dad shut up in bed. "How do you know that?" the startled father asked. His son replied, "Their kid is standing out on the balcony too." It's 1957 and Bobby goes to pick up his date, Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue's father answers the door and invites him in. He asks Bobby what they're planning to do on the date. Bobby politely responds that they'll probably just go to the malt shop or to a drive-in movie. Peggy Sue's father suggests,
"Why don't you kids go out and screw? I hear all of the kids are doing it."
Bobby is shocked. "Excuse me, sir?"
"Oh yes, Peggy Sue really likes to screw. She'll screw all night if we let her."
Peggy Sue comes downstairs and announces that she's ready to go. About 20 minutes later, a disheveled Peggy Sue rushes back into the house, slams the door behind her, and screams at her father, "Dad! The twist! It's called the twist!" A small boy is sent to bed by his father. 5 minutes later, "Dad." "What?" "I'm thirsty. Can you bring me a glass of water?" "No, you had your chance. Lights out." 5 minutes later, "Dad." "What?" "I'm thirsty. Can I have a glass of water?" "I told you no. If you ask again, I'll have to spank you." 5 minutes later, "Dad."
"What?"
"When you come in to spank me, can you bring me a glass of water?" On a farm out in the country lived a man and a woman and their 3 sons. Early one morning, the woman awoke, and while looking out of the window onto the pasture, they saw that the family's only cow was lying dead in the field. The situation looked hopeless to her. How could she possibly continue to feed her family now? In a depressed state of mind, she hung herself. When the man awoke to find his wife dead, as well as the cow, he too began to see the hopelessness of the situation, and he shot himself in the head. Now, the oldest son woke up to discover his parents dead and the cow, and he decided to go down to the river and drown himself. When he got to the river, he discovered a mermaid sitting on a bank. She said, "I've seen all and know the reason for your despair. But if you will make love to me 5 times in a row, then I will restore your parents and a cow to you." The son agreed to try, but after 4 times, he was simply unable to get it up again. So the mermaid drowned him in the river. Next, the second oldest son woke up. After discovering what had happened, he too decided to throw himself into the river. The mermaid said to him, "If you will make love to me 10 times in a row, then I will make everything right." And while the son tried his best 7 times, it was not enough to satisfy the mermaid. So she drowned him in the river. The youngest son woke up and saw his parents dead, the dead cow in the field, and his brothers gone. He decided that life was a hopeless prospect, and he went down to the river to throw himself in. And there he also met the mermaid. "I have seen all that has happened, and I can make everything right if you will only make love to me 15 times in a row." The young son replied, "Is that all? Why not 20 times in a row?" The mermaid was somewhat taken aback by this request. Then he said, "Hell, why not 25 times in a row?" And even as she was reluctantly agreeing to his request, he said, "Why not 30 times in a row?" Finally, she said, "Enough. Okay. If you will make love to me 30 times in a row, then I will bring everybody back to a perfect health." Then the young son asked, "Wait, how do I know that 30 times in a row won't kill you like it did the cow?"